Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Super 7 Ultimate Thundercats Pumm-ra. Today I'll be reviewing this figure in the following categories: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once all scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So for accessories, it doesn't appear that we get much, but we do get a decent amount of accessories. So let's go ahead and start with the head sculpt. So we received 3 head sculpts in total, starting with this one here, which is perhaps my favorite, and the one that more than likely I'm going to display on Pumm-ra. And we have this one. With this head sculpt, we actually received 2 identical ones. If you don't know why, I'll explain more once we get into the essential part. For the hand, the figure comes with 5 hands in total. You see the hands here, they have that gloss to them, which I don't care for. This one has a vertical hinge, so it's for its weapon holding hands. And we have the sort of omens, which is covered by a sheet. If you remember this episode, this comes from the series. And you have the claw, glove, fisted. This will certainly be going to Lionel. And then you have the walkie-talkie. I don't remember if in that episode, Pumm-ra used this to talk to the mutants or if it was for the Thundercats. But pretty cool with accessories. Wish we would have gotten a few more of these gloves with different gesturings, maybe fingers pointing out. So for overall accessories, I'm fine with what we have, and I'm going to give Pumm-ra a 9 out of 10. So for articulation, it's becoming to be the standard that these figures just don't move well. So the head doesn't look up at all, doesn't look down. It does rotate, no real pivot. The arm kicks out that much to the side. It can rotate a full 360, pretty tight. You do have an upper bicep cut. The elbow is single jointed, only bending in that much. This hand is on a horizontal hinge going side to side, though you do have one that's vertical for the weapon holding hand. No butterfly joints, diaphragm cut. He can crunch forward that much, backwards that much. You do have rotation at the waist. The legs are able to kick out to the side all the way, move forward only that much, backwards only that much. Does rotate, but it's a weird rotation, sort of reminds me of McFarlane. No thigh cut under the knee. You do have rotation. The knees are double jointed, bending in about that much. So for the feet, they're able to hinge up that much, down, decent amount. You have good amount of pivot. I'm going to leave it at that. It does sway on an angle, but it works. So for articulation, the head is limited, torso limited, arms are limited, legs are the best part of this figure. So for overall articulation, I'm going to give Pumm-ra a 5 out of 10. So for design, Super 7 really did a good job with this, starting with the head itself. This is my preferred portrait. The eyes look good. All colors are where they need to be. Really like the coloring in the ears. Like they didn't have to add that, but I do like it. It helps the figure to stand out. I do have a few spots along the bearded part here. But even the chest to me looks pretty good. There's some misses with paint application, but really not that noticeable. And you have a tint of gold or yellowing, which to me brings that chest out a bit more. And the cloth goods look pretty good. There's some large stitching, particularly over on this side. Certainly noticeable, but nothing that rubs me the wrong way. And just looking down at the feet, wish that this was sculpted instead of painted. But it is painted decent enough. If you look close, you can see some imperfections here. I do like on the feet that you have the nails or claws, whatever you want to call them, pretty sharp. Yeah, but I think the soft goods really looks good on this figure. You can argue about the body itself, whether it meets the right proportions for Pumm-ra. But if you're collecting this line, you're going to run into those issues constantly. Trying to get this part over here to sit right. If I remember correctly, his left arm was exposed. Somehow this was still around his left arm. Something similar to that. So for overall design, I'm going to go ahead and give Pumm-ra an 8 out of 10. So is Pumm-ra essential to your collection? So Pumm-ra appeared in one episode of the Thundercats series. If you've seen that episode, Chitara was captured by the mutants. Pumm-ra appeared to be the rescuer of Chitara, telling her that he saved her from the mutants. He was taken back to the Thundercats' lair, to where he portrayed the part that he was a Thunderian. Joyous to have another one in their ranks, he was quickly accepted into the Thundercats' hold. However, lurking in disguise, Pumm-ra was actually Mumm-ra. And this is the reason that we get the additional head to put on the Mumm-ra figure that I still haven't received yet. So as far as toy options, with the original LJN line, don't believe that they ever created a Pumm-ra figure. If I'm incorrect with that, I'll see if I can update it before this video goes out. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the only option that you have for acquiring a Pumm-ra. So when it comes to being essential to your collection, I'm going to give Pumm-ra a 6 out of 10. So for functionality, let's take a look at the cloth goods. You do have a bendy wire in certain aspects. It starts here and works its way all the way to about here. This part does not have bendy wire. However, you can still get it to flare up. It usually holds its formation. That's pretty good. So now with this overall body, if you watched any of my Thundercats reviews, this is just antiquated. It's time that Super 7 invest the money and give us a new Thundercat mold. No butterfly joints. The head barely moves any. Just a real antiquated design. There is some looseness with the legs. Not as bad as we've seen with Super 7, but not as stiff or sturdy as I would like them to be. Also, looking under, you still see the issue with the unsightly hips. Don't know what they need to do about that, but they need to fix that. So let's go ahead and remove this hand. We're going to put the claw on, which should go just like that. It's nice and snug. We're going to remove this hand and put on the vertical one. Almost knocked over the entire setup. Not that I would be displaying this way, but just to show you that it works. Yeah, it works. Now, looking at this Sword of Omens, this is not the first time Super 7 has done this with their weapons. And if this was a line that was being sold to children, I get it. But these are adult collectibles. Why is this so soft? And you can see it is severely warped. I hope that that's showing on camera. It is so bad. I'm pretty sure that it is. So I'm unhappy with how this is. Now, we receive this walkie-talkie. I'm going to assume the best hands to hold that in will sort of be these open hands like this. So I'm just going to pry the fingers around it. It's not a perfect fit, but it does work. As you can see, Pumm-ra passes the stand test. So taking a look at this body, no butterfly joints. The body doesn't allow you to pivot. And perhaps that's the worst part of the torso. It just stands straight up. Super 7, what are you waiting for? It is time to implement a new body. So for functionality, the head and hands swap off easy enough. There's a peg on the hands, as it should be. The weapons fit in, they hold secure enough. The cloth goods as well. I think Super 7 really did a good job with that. The downfall is the body itself. It's just no getting around that. So for overall functionality, I'm giving Pumm-ra a 6 out of 10. So for pricing, Pumm-ra comes in at $55 just before taxes and shipping. Add in the two, you're looking at a price point of roughly $65. So now is Pumm-ra worth the price of admission? Well, first let's see what he comes with. In terms of accessories, you don't get a lot, but I think it's a decent spread for the character himself. The law for him will not be the accessories. It will be that this is a one-off character, only appearing in one episode. So with pricing, I'm not mad at the price point that Super 7 has this figure. However, the body itself, the glossy hands, the glossy parts, makes the figure seems antiquated and a bit cheap. So for overall pricing, I'm going to give Pumm-ra a 9 out of 10. That should give Pumm-ra an overall cliff score of... So now is Pumm-ra a pass or a purchase? Listen, This is a line that I wish that another company was doing. Unfortunately, it's not another company doing it. It's Super 7. And this is my only way to get Thundercat figures that I've wanted for a very long time. So for me, whether these figures are exceptional or downright terrible, they're going to be an absolute purchase for me. So let's zoom out some. Get a shot of Pumm-ra by himself. Let's throw in another character from the same line. Let's throw in a Masters of the Universe Revelations figure. Let's go ahead and get Stinkor out of here. Let's throw in Demona from the Gargoyles. Should have left Demona as she was. Let's go ahead and get rid of her. Let's throw in a Marvel Legends. Are they nearly the same height? They are, but mass is a bit different. And last but least, let's throw in a Mel Marvel Legends figure. So, thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. Hope to see you during the next review.